Have you ever wanted to play a video game where you can physically assault your favorite Pokemon in a manner much closer to the anime? Yes? Boy, do I have the game for you. No, not that one. This one, Pokken Tournament, a game that finally allows you to actually battle Pokemon so you can slap the shit out of Mewtwo for killing Ash that one time. I'm saying that one time as if he hasn't died like 15 times, but that's besides the point. Released in 2015 for arcades, yes, for arcades, look at this fucking beast. Released in 2015 for arcades, then in 2016 for Wii U, Pokken Tournament is, as you can guess by the name, a fighting game. A fighting game that happened to be developed by Bandai Namco. And you know what other fighting game was developed by Bandai? Now I know what you might be wondering. Does that mean Pac-Man's in this game? And the answer is that absolutely nobody was asking that question. Moving on. This game is heavily influenced by Tekken. Wow, I wonder if there were any hints that that would be the case. In the way that you have a nice 3D space to fight in. Oh, never mind. Apparently it's 2D. Never mind. Apparently it's both. Yeah, there's two phases in this game. The 3D phase is called Field Phase, and the 2D phase is called Dual Phase. Think of Field Phase as the Naruto Storm game, and think of Dual Phase as, I don't know, Dragon Ball FighterZ, or maybe more like Budokai, I don't know. This game was designed to be a lot more casual, as evidenced by the arcade machine. I mean, look at this thing. It has an actual controller on it. Instead of looking like this, it looks like this. Honestly, more arcade machines should start doing that, but hey, you didn't hear that from me. As you could expect, this was so both casuals and hardcore fighting game enthusiasts, aka nerds, could enjoy the game. The roster consists of 16 Pokemon to choose from. These 16 consist of Blaziken, Pikachu, Lucario, Gardevoir, Pikachu Libre. No, I am not trolling. There is a fucking Rey Mysterio Pikachu in the game. You gotta fill out the roster somehow. Sceptile, Gengar, Machamp, Braixen, Mewtwo, Chandelure. Yes, a chandelier in the video game. Had to fill out the roster somehow. Suicune, Weavile, Charizard, Garchomp, and Shadow Mewtwo, a quote-unquote original character for this game, and as such, he's never appeared again. We will get back to him in a second. If any of you guys know this game, some of you are probably confused. I thought there were 23 characters in this game, I hear you say. Well, that's the DX version of this game, and I never played that version, so we're talking about the Wii U version. But if you must know, the extra characters are Aegislash, Blastoise, Croagunk, Darkrai, Decidueye, the Goat, Empoleon, and Scizor. Getting back to the gameplay though, in Field Phase, you're allowed to move in a 3D space. You can both attack and launch projectiles. You also do these things in Dual Phase, but the way your attacks work differ based on which phase you happen to be in at the moment. Just like this. This is called Stance. The whole stance thing doesn't really come into play that much. If you or your opponent gets hit with a powerful enough attack, it switches the phase. This is called Phase Shift. Cool name, right? See that little bar right there in the corner? It's called a synergy gauge, and you can fill it in a variety of ways. You can fill it up by landing hits on your opponent, which means if you can get combos going, you can fill up the meter pretty fucking fast. In Field Phase, there are these little spots on the field that'll fill some of your synergy gauge. There's even giant spots that fill up your synergy gauge while you're standing on it. Very easy and cheesy way to fill up the meter. When the synergy gauge is full, you can activate what is called a synergy burst, which does anything from give you a rainbow aura to turning Machamp red for some reason to mega evolving. Then, while your gauge is activated, you can launch your burst attack. Now, a burst attack can be anything from Pikachu fisting you to Sceptile trying to reference the Akira slide, as if we haven't seen that same move done a million fucking times by now, to Machamp predicting both Donkey Kong and Little Mac's final smashes in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, to Shadow Mewtwo blowing up an entire continent. Seems a bit overkill, don't you think? You also have access to support Pokemon that you can call to help you out in case you need it because you're a little bitch that needs assistance and you can't handle it by yourself. They do anything to buff your stats, to nerf your opponent's stats, to just straight up attacking the other player. The support Pokemon you can pick from are, you might want to sit down for this one, Emolga, Fennekin, Snivy, Lapras, Frogadier, Eevee, Jirachi, Whimsicott, Ninetales, Miss Magius, Farfetch'd, Electrode, Sylveon, Croagunk, Cubone, Diglett, Magneton, Quagsire, Pachirisu, and Magikarp. Yes, they picked fucking Magikarp to be an assist in this game, who is actually infinitely more useful in this game than he is in any other. Rotom, Togekiss, Dragonite, Victini, Yveltal, Latios, Espeon, Umbreon, Reshiram, and Cresselia. As you can probably tell, that's a lot of support Pokemon. You'd think they would have stopped at half of that number, but no, they just kept adding them in. I gotta respect it. And, you know, they also added Litten, Poplio, Mew, of all people, Celebi, Mimikyu, and fucking Mega Rayquaza in the DX version. Yeah, you got fucking Litten and Poplio and Mimikyu, and you still have your legendaries in Celebi and Mew, but they're small and cute creatures. And then you bring in the giant fucking Hellspawn that is Mega Rayquaza as an assist? Is that not overkill? Anyway, the supports come in pairs, so you have two different choices to pick for one round, and when you use one, the other one is immediately ready to use in the next round. Because as I'm sure you can figure out, the game is best of 3. So, you win one round, you have a good cushion. If you win the next round, that's an easy dub. If you lose, you still have a good chance to win. There's 2 types of battles in this game. Basic battles, which are just average matches, and extra battles, which have orbs that spawn on the field that could buff or nerf your stats when you touch them. Just for completionist sake though, I guess I'll talk about Team Battle, which was only in DX. It's as straightforward as it sounds. Instead of picking one Pokemon to fight with, you pick 3, and you have to beat all 3 of the opponent's Pokemon to win. Speaking of modes though, once you open the game, you have 5 modes you can choose from. Let's go through them real quick. There's practice. I don't really think I have to say anything else. Single battle, where you can fight AI opponents. Local battle, where you can grab a second player and battle to your heart's content. Unfortunately, absolutely nobody wants to play this game with me, so I don't have a second player to play with. Online battles, very similar to local battles, but online. Why don't we check it out? Oh. Ferrum League, a tournament mode where you fight through 8-person brackets to see who's the best. There's 4 different levels that you can challenge to become the Ferrum League champion. Last but not least, there's My Town. This is where you change things like the Pokemon you use in battle and your supports, along with your profile and avatar that people would have seen online. Fun fact, if you suck at the game, whenever you come here, your record will be sitting here to haunt you. Real fun. So, I guess I'll wrap up this incredible summary with the game's story. First, you make your avatar. Then, you meet Nia. You might have noticed her here and there in the background gameplay. She's your guide in this game. And while she may be fine, she's also annoying as shit. You may think that's a little mean, but trust me, you wouldn't be sticking up for her if you actually played the game. Anyway, after you fight your way through the first rank of the Ferrum League and approach the promotion test, aka the test to move you from one rank to the next, this random lady just shows up and attacks you with a black Mewtwo. She attacks you a few more times during the story, while people eventually start gossiping about said Mewtwo, dubbing it Shadow Mewtwo. Very creative, I know. They also start talking about Gaia. No, not that Gaia. Gaia being the energy that controls the Synergy Stones. I guess they had to come up with something. And this energy appears to be disappearing, and nobody knows why. After you beat the 3rd rank, everyone's worried about the Gaia energy being stolen, which results in the Ferrum League being put on hold. See, now this Mewtwo is causing my journey to champion to be delayed, so now we have a problem. Anyways, the woman who attacked you multiple times at this point in the story shows up again. She tells you her name is On, and that the Shadow Mewtwo is actually just a regular Mewtwo with a quote-unquote Shadow Synergy Stone in its shoulder. No way! Really? Apparently, it sacrificed itself to save her when she was a kid, and now the stone is making it pull a reverse Michael Jackson, and also draining all the Gaia energy. So of course, we, a child, the protagonist, have to stop this thing. She introduces Walter, the oldest nigga alive of all of her people, because of course the oldest is always the wisest, this is a rule in fiction, and tells you that this brooch On was going to use to purify Mewtwo needs more power to work, because things can't ever just be easy. You gotta fight Walter, and then 3 other people in order to get the power that you need. Thankfully though, time runs out after the 2nd fight because Shadow Mewtwo is becoming even more of a problem. You find Shadow Mewtwo, and through the power of plot armor and blatant cheating, you end up in a 1-1 tie with it. Now get this, On's prayers, yes, her prayers, allow enough Gaia to be given to you so that you get a permanent synergy burst for the final round. You know what, I guess I can excuse the cheating, the blatant fuckery that was going on so we could have this epic finale. I guess. You finally beat Shadow Mewtwo. Ann's brooch purifies the stone, which returns Mewtwo back to normal. And Ann takes the stone back to her people, which, by the way, she said that whole stone thing happened when she was a kid, so you're telling me Mewtwo was just walking around with a stone in its shoulder this whole time and it's only now becoming a problem when she's a grown woman? Makes sense. Also, after all of that, she just gives you Mewtwo. She just asks you to take care of it and leaves. What a G. After all that, you're finally allowed to finish your championship run. Did you even remember that that was the point of the whole story, by the way? I don't think you did. But, you know, after you finish your championship run and beat the highest rank, the game may or may not give you the Planet Buster himself, Shadow Mewtwo. Why not, right?